Hey honey, welcome to my channel Design by Ida. My name is Teresa, I'm a professional fashion designer. And today I want to teach you everything you need to know about creating your own fashion brand. You can use this information for designing or creating a brand for yourself, like a personal brand, or maybe it's a brand for a collection that you're developing, or maybe it's a brand for a company that you're putting together, right? A brand consists of so many things, and a brand really is your identity. It's your identity. It's how people will describe you. It's how people will remember you. And it's just, it's so valuable. And I'm going to teach you how to make the most of it and how to check all the boxes and do it right. Okay? So here we go. Here's everything you need to know about creating a brand. So the first thing you start with is deciding on the name for the brand. Now, maybe you already have an idea. Maybe it's like your favorite flower. Maybe it's your initials. Maybe it's a funny word that you just love, or maybe it's apple, like apple. No, I don't know. It can be anything. But what I want you to do is I want you to brainstorm many thoughts about what the name could be. Maybe like think about what your collection, what your brand is going to be about. What is your concept? Who are you designing for? What is your price level? What's your personality? Like, what country are you from? All of these things may impact the choice of your name. So consider that. And then I want you to Google like crazy, because you want to make sure that the name you choose does not mean something offensive to another culture or mean something completely different in a different language. So research the name before you decide that, okay, this is the name we're going to go with. Okay? So that's the first thing. Get a name and make sure it's a good name for everyone. Okay? And then the second thing you need is a logo. So many people think that the brand is the logo. It's not. But you do need a logo. So you need to create a logo. You can do that online for free in many places, or you can hire someone to design a logo for you, or you can play around with it yourself. Maybe you try out different fonts, different colors, different shapes, and try to play around with it and put it together. You don't need like expensive software to do that. You can use pen and paper, or you can use very simple free software, Canva, for example, and just play around with like how this font looks inside a square or inside a circle. What does it look like with this color? Maybe some of the words are bold and some are regular. You know, you can play around with it and combine them. And a lot of like really famous logos are basically just a font, okay? Prada, Chanel, Gucci, so many of them they're like just spelled out a name, right? They chose this font, they use it in black and white, you know, like Chanel, do they have like a specific color? Prada? Gucci does have the red and the green. But in the beginning, probably just had the name. So just get the name down and create your logo or have someone else design it for you. And then you need to decide on the values for the brand. Now, this is where it gets a little bit crazy, a little bit messy, because you need to like brainstorm a lot and maybe have someone else to brainstorm with you. I have been a part of designing some new brands and coming up with the brand identity and the values and really defining the brand. And it's really an exciting process. And if you have more people with you, they can bring something to the table and make you think about things that you didn't think about before. So what is your brand all about? What does it represent? What are the core values for the brand? This can be a lot of different things. So in the beginning, you're going to brainstorm. And you're just going to write everything down and maybe have post-it notes. We did this once. We had a big wall and we put down all the ideas on post-it notes and just covered the entire wall with post-it notes. And then when we were editing, we would take things out. We would be like, okay, these two things are kind of the same thing. Let's go with this word and take this one out. So, and you just kind of like edit everything down until you come up with like 4 values that are really true to your brand, and they should be apparent to the customers. Meaning, if your values are sustainability and quality and fair trade and I don't know, something, then that should be very clear to your customers. You should say so, and you should show it by choosing fair trade production sites, by choosing organic fabrics, by being eco-friendly, conscious in all your decisions when it comes to packaging and shipment and everything that you do. So if sustainability is one of your core values, it's going to affect how you do everything. And also, even in the office, you're not going to print everything out on paper and throw away tons of paper every day. You're going to do it more digital because it's more sustainable, right? So defining your values is really, really important. And, remember all the things that go into you and your brand, your culture, where you're from, what age are you targeting, what interests, what's important to you, anything. Just try to pack it all in there and narrow it down to 4 core values. And then you can start building your brand identity. So now you have a name, you have a logo, you have defined the 4 core values for your brand, and now you can build this like personality, this identity that is your brand. So some brands will have a certain way of talking and writing. So even on their website and on their sales texts, and when you buy a product, it will say something really funny like, oh yeah, my grandma made this 5 years ago. I'm selling it to you now. I hope you like it. You can use humor, you can use charm, you can be very somber. You can find your style and create your brand personality. And be consistent, okay? Be that personality everywhere. So when you're putting up posts on social media like Instagram and Facebook, and you're using Twitter, and you have a website, maybe you have a web shop, or blog, a vlog, be consistent with your brand personality. So Wendy's, for example, they're funny, right? Chrissy Teigen, she's funny, and that's her thing. And that's their thing. They can come up with like just really funny posts that make people laugh and make people share their posts. So that's a good way to connect with people, because if you can try to bring out some emotions in your customers, they will connect with you and engage with you. If you can, define your brand in 1 sentence and narrow it down and create your tagline, something that is just quick to say, easy to remember, and looks great with your logo, right? That's also something. You want it to visually look nice with your logo, right? You can have it on your hang tags on the garments, or you can have it on your website or on your vlog or blog or whatever it is that you're creating. This can be very good to do if you are creating a brand that is like a brand new word that people don't really know what is. If your brand name is Banca, I'm just making up words. Okay, so if your brand name is Banca, maybe people will think that it's a bank, but maybe it's actually a clothing brand. So maybe you want to say something about that in your tagline to avoid confusion, okay? So if you're designing shoes, maybe your tagline is something that's about happy feet or something, You want to, if you're going to have a tagline, you want it to be adding value to the brand and not making it worse. Okay, you want everything that you do to improve your brand, not make it worse. Okay, so when you choose your colors, when you choose your tagline, when you choose your fonts and the way you're writing and everything, make sure it makes it better. Okay, in every decision, always improving. Okay, so when you are ready to hire people to sell for you or to represent you on social media or to work in your brand store, You need to really brainwash them and make them understand your brand. They need to know your core values. They need to know what your brand is all about and what's important to you and how you want them to represent you to others. Okay? Because your brand is everyone who works for you. It really is. If the customer service is crappy, if the people working in the stores are rude and are just watching their phone and not really helping people, if you have people who are just rude, and maybe even in traffic, if you see a company car and they are just cutting you off and being super rude in the way that they drive, you're gonna have a bad connection with that brand, right? So everything connected to the brand is representing you, whether you like it or not. So you make sure that they represent you well, okay? The people that you hire, the people who drive and deliver your goods for you, just make sure that everyone represents you well, because it becomes a part of your brand. Trust me, it does. And then the last thing I want you to remember when creating a brand, you want it to stand out. You want it to be recognizable, memorable, right? So what can you do to make it that way? If you are designing jeans, what can you do with the branding to make your jeans stand out from all the other jeans? Can you hang them a certain way in the store? Can you have a label on them in like popping color that's very recognizable that you will see? Does it have a diagonal stitch on one back pocket that is like bright pink? Is there something you can do with the photos that you take of the jeans? Remember all the Steve Madden ads with the shoes, and they had like these huge faces and small bodies? They were selling shoes, but the ads were so recognizable and so funny, and they just kind of made it their own identity, right? And that's something that you can do. With your brand, try to really think about something that you can do and be creative. Don't do the same thing as everyone else. Find something that you can do that's different, that's surprising, that gets attention and makes people remember you. Because that's so, so, so important. You want them to love you, of course, but you also want them to remember you so that whenever they need the clothes that you're making, they will come to you. I hope this video was helpful. If you like it and found it helpful, please like it and share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe because I post new videos every single Friday. So thank you for watching. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.